At this point, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, moving to section 2, I'll accept a motion for the approval of the agenda, please.
So moved?
Moved by Ms. Decker,
Second?
and second,
Ms. Pearl's got the second.
okay, we'll give it to Ms. Prowse. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, treasurer, please call the roll.
Mrs. Decker.
Aye.
Ms. Prowse.
Aye.
Mr. Dobbins.
Aye.
Mrs. Etter.
Aye.
Mr. Souchaki.
Aye, motion passes 5-0. Now I will turn the meeting over to the superintendent for recognition of the students of the month for May 2025.
I know, can you believe it? It's May already. This is our final Students of the Month until the 25-26 school year. So maybe we save the best for last, right? Yeah? Okay, we're going to start with Mr. Dietre, who's going to start with the high school. Then we'll go to Mrs. Scotton, who will do the middle school and the elementary school tonight.
All right, good evening, everyone. Now, when I met with the students today from the high school of the 4 grade levels, because of our playoff season happening tonight, 3 of the 4 high school students could not make it tonight, 1 for softball, 1 for baseball, and 1 for track. So I'll be kind of quick, but I do want to, as always, read what their nominating teacher wrote about them. So from the high school's senior class, the 12th grade, Addison Boning, and here's what her nominating teacher wrote. After reviewing the list of previous Student of the Month winners among the senior class, it was evident that we were saving one of the best students for last. I am slightly disappointed in myself for not recommending her sooner. I have had the distinct pleasure of having Addie in 3 courses, Honors World, AP Euro, and AP US History, as well as having her in Model UN for 3 years. She is an outstanding young adult that is also a budding leader. She has consistently challenged herself with a rigorous course of study with multiple honors and AP courses across the various academic disciplines, pushing herself beyond many of her peers and growing academically. She also pushed herself to participate in sports in every season, proving to be an outstanding athlete and trusted teammate. Lastly, she was among a small elite group of students chosen to help lead and facilitate the Ohio Leadership Institute's Ohio Model UN as a state officer. She has helped to ensure a positive experience for over 1,200 of the Model UN participants with her leadership and maturity. Congratulations, Addison. The 11th grade student of the month is Jackson Justice, and here is what his nominating teacher wrote. I'm incredibly pleased to have had another opportunity to teach such an outstanding young adult in international current events. Jackson is a fundamentally good person that lifts up others around him and has a fantastic sense of humor. He pushes himself, taking advanced courses while also attending CVCC for firefighting. Congratulations, Jackson. Our 10th grade student of the month is Caitlin Amari, and here is what her nominating teacher wrote. All around great young adult. She is an incredibly hard worker, driven, kind, and active in school clubs and sports. She has pushed herself to taking AP Euro in her sophomore year and has grown considerably throughout the year. She often answers questions and aids her peers in AP Euro and outside the classroom. She is also incredibly active in multiple school clubs and sports. Congratulations, Caitlin Amari. And from the 9th grade, our student of the month, Nora Gannon. Please come forward. She's here tonight with her parents, Lauren and Tim. She does have a younger sister who also attends Cuyahoga Heights, and she has attended Cuyahoga Heights since the 3rd grade. The family lives in Brooklyn Heights. Nora's favorite subject is math, and she is part of our school's stage crew and a member of the varsity swim team. After she is done with school, she told me that she wants to have a career where she can work from home. She said the best part about being at Cuyahoga Heights was her friends. And here is what her nominating teacher wrote. This was an easy nomination, and I truly hope she earns this award. Nora is a super kind person, extremely respectful, but also seems like a genuinely positive influence on the people around her. She always tries her best, works really well with others, and is a delight to have in class. I believe the world would be a better place if we were all a little more like Nora. Congratulations, Nora Gannon. And next, we'll have Ms. Scotton present the middle school and elementary awards.
Mr. Dutray, good evening, everyone. We are going to begin with our 8th grade student of the month, Isaac. Isaac lives in Valley View with his parents, Rachel and Jason, and his younger sister, Ava, who's in the 6th grade. The family is about to also welcome a new kitten to their household, I was told. Now, I have to say, Isaac's journey to Cuyahoga Heights is quite remarkable. He actually moved here from Switzerland in December after his family was relocated due to work. While in Switzerland, he attended an international school for 3.5 years, where he met people around the world. He learned different cultures and kind of how to immerse himself in different languages and all kinds of cool stuff. So this really stuck out to me. He said one of his most favorite school experiences was from being in Switzerland when he took a trip to Italy on a field trip. They went on a sailing trip. So I was like, okay, you got to tell me more. And so he said they traveled on a bus for 2 days, got to Italy, got on the boat, learned how to tie knots, learned how to sail, and then they came back. And I said, listen, I think we do a lot of great things for our students here and try to give them great experiences. I don't know if we could top a sailing trip to Italy, but we could keep our fingers crossed. So I thought that was super cool and very interesting. He really excels in English here, and he said that was influenced by growing up in an environment that supported his development, thanks to his mom being an English teacher. He's currently participating in the IT mentorship program, and he notes that he loves learning about computers and how to fix Chromebooks with Mr. Hartman. In his free time, he enjoys reading and playing video games. As for his future, he's keeping his options open. He's interested in software development for video games, though he said AI now has kind of changed that for him. It's changed the field. He's also considering maybe being in the medical field or teaching, showing his thoughtful approach to planning his future. As his teachers noted, we are so proud to recognize our 8th grade student of the month for initiative, Isaac Mann. As a new student, he jumped right in without missing a beat, showing dedication, enthusiasm, and a strong drive to succeed from day one. We are so happy to have him a part of our school community. Congratulations, Isaac.
Very nice. That's a little one.
All right, 7th grade, we have Rose Jackson. Rose lives in Brooklyn Heights with her family, including her 3 siblings, Grace, who's a 9th grader, Vincent, who's in 4th grade, and Margot, who's in 2nd grade. Their household is complete with 4 pets, a cat named Pip, 2 dogs named Walter and Wesley, and a bunny that they don't really have a name for, but they call it Gray. Rose has a natural talent for math, explaining that she gets things easier, and it's fun for me to do rather than do it over reading. Her academic strengths complete her active lifestyle as she participates in basketball, volleyball, and choir. Outside of school, Rose enjoys listening to music, playing pickleball, and going on walks. She's also a fan of the basketball star, Caitlin Clark. One of her favorite school memories is playing kickball with her teachers in the 5th grade. She really loved the 5th grade and had a lot of good memories from that year. Now in middle school, she appreciates the opportunity to go to different classes and work with multiple teachers. Looking towards the future, she's interested in pursuing a career as a cosmetologist. What makes Rose truly remarkable is her incredible transition and transformation this year. Her teachers proudly recognize her growth, noting that throughout this academic year, she's demonstrated maturity and transformed an attitude towards learning. Her initiative is evident in how she actively participates in class discussions, and her improved focus has directly contributed to her academic progress. Rose no longer waits to be prompted, but instead takes ownership of her education, approaching challenges with determination. Congratulations, Rose. We are so proud of you. All right, in 6th grade, we have Cam Walker. Cam lives in Garfield Heights with his parents and his tuxedo cat named Oreo, and his sister Mia, who's in 3rd grade here at CHES. He's passionate about science and math, and I asked him, well, why do you like science and math? And he said that he was really interested in becoming a wind turbine technician, and that science and math are both really strong subjects to be kind of active in, to do that. His college plans include studying wind turbine technology while hopefully continuing his athletic pursuits on the football field. Beyond academics, Cam plays trumpet in the jazz band here and participates in both basketball and football. When he's not busy with school or sports, you may find him listening to his favorite artist, Post Malone. What makes Cam special is his genuine love for learning. He enjoys being at school, particularly science class, because there's so much to learn. His teachers nominated him for this honor, noting that Cam demonstrates leadership in every day in a multitude of ways, and he is as reliable as they come. Cam lets his incredible talent shine through, always putting forth his best effort and pouring his passion into all of his. Congratulations, Cam. All right, and next we are going to jump down to our kindergartners for Student of the Month. So I'm going to have Mr. Arthur come up here first. Arthur looks like he just hopped off the plane and should be in Hawaii right now. It was vacation day today, wasn't it? Yeah. Arthur resides in Brooklyn Heights, and he told me he lives 6 minutes away. So we were very precise. When I asked him about his family, he gave me a little bit of the origin. He was telling me, well, we're a little bit Irish, a little bit this, a little bit that. And then he said he has a mom, Mary, and a dad, Kevin. So that's how we got to that. They have no pets, but they may be getting one soon. Have you gotten one yet? No? Okay, so we're still waiting. That's okay. His favorite subject is math, because he says there's a lot of numbers, and he really likes to be challenged. His favorite essential is PE class. So when I asked him why, he says, well, I like hustling and stuff. So, yeah. Outside of school, he loves playing Nintendo, specifically Zelda. He likes to go outside and practice baseball and play sports. When he grows up, he would like to be a scientist and do experiments, specifically with hornet nests. He's really into hornets. That's what he said. So he wants to study hornets and hornets' nests. This interview was just so fun to conduct. When they get smaller and smaller, like to go off script, they're just so sweet, their answers. His message to his parents are, thank you so much for all of your help, and I love you. Now here's what the kindergarten team said about Mr. Arthur. We are thrilled to announce Arthur as this kindergarten student of the month. From the moment he arrived, he showed a genuine love for learning. He approaches daily activities with enthusiasm and curiosity. His strong work ethic and determination have led him to mastery of all addition and subtraction facts up to 18. His consistent effort has found him quickly approaching mastery of multiplication and division. He's going to be doing algebra like before 1st grade, I feel like. His perseverance and growth this year have been remarkable, and it's been wonderful to watch him mature. He embodies the qualities we hope to see in all of our students: hardworking, kindness, and a love for learning. Congratulations, Arthur. Keep up the great work, and we look forward to seeing all the amazing things you will continue to achieve. Congratulations, Arthur. Over here, Arthur. There you go.
Didn't have to move far.
All right. And last but not least, we have Miss Kate. Kate, will you please come on up? Kate lives in Valley View with her parents, Molly and Ted, her twin sister, Mare, who she told me she is 1 minute older than Mare. She is the older sibling. And Ryan, who's in preschool. They have one cat named Flynn. She really enjoys reading because she likes to learn how to read. And she likes stories too. Her favorite essentials class is technology because she enjoys being on the computer. Outside of school, she likes to play with her siblings. She also plays soccer. And she said they hadn't won a game yet, but there were 2 more games left of the season, so she was still a little optimistic. How are we doing? We're good? Did we win any? No. Okay, last game she almost stole. How many goals? Okay, she almost scored a goal twice, but she did not. So we're
Thank you for the honesty.
when she grows up, she wants to be an artist because she loves painting. And her message to her parents are thank you. And here's what the kindergarten team said. We are excited to announce Kate as kindergarten student of the month. She's a blend of focus and imagination. She works hard every day and excels in her academic areas. Tackling challenging math problems or crafting during project time, Kate is always giving her 100%. We are so excited to see the big things that Kate will do the remainder of the school year and into first grade. We are so proud of all your accomplishments this year in kindergarten. Way to go, Kate. All right, and that's all of them, Mr. Young.
Ready for the staff spotlight?
Okay, good. I'll start with B first instead of A. Flip the order.
Let's just leave you up while Mrs. Connors comes up too. Just
Oh,
go ahead and
okay.
stay up here. That'd be fine.
All right, we're moving on to section 4, the staff spotlight. And I'll make a motion that we to do the staff spotlight this month and that we nominate, who are we nominating? Danny Connors. So we'll finish with the vote. Come on up, Danny. While you're coming up, we're going to take our vote. Could I have a second, please?
I'll second it.
Mr. Dobbins is seconded. The treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Souchaki?
Aye.
Mr. Dobbins?
Aye.
Mrs. Utter?
Aye.
Ms. Prouse?
Aye.
Mrs. Decker?
Aye.
Okay, now I'm going to turn it back to Mr. Young to explain how you managed to be nominated.
All right, our staff spotlight is Mrs. Danny Connors, who was nominated by Mrs. Colleen Murray, who was last month's staff spotlight. All right, so here's the resolution honoring Mrs. Connors. It says, whereas Mrs. Connors is truly exceptional as an individual whose kindness, patience, and unwavering support make a positive impact on everyone around her, and whereas she is consistently seen interacting with students in the most compassionate and respectful manner, offering her assistance with a genuine smile and warm presence, and whereas Mrs. Connors is a skilled multitasker, seamlessly managing phones, doors, questions, and countless other responsibilities with grace and professionalism, all while remaining calm, most of the time, I will say, and approachable. And whereas her vast knowledge of school-related matters, coupled with her willingness to stop, no matter how busy she is, to lend a hand, provide an answer, or share an encouraging word, is both admirable and inspiring. And whereas her dedication to the students and staff of Cuyahoga Heights Schools is evident each and every day, and her ability to keep things running smoothly, even during the most hectic moments, is nothing short of impressive. Now therefore be it resolved that the Cuyahoga Heights Board of Education proudly recognizes Mrs. Connors for her kindness, caring nature, helpful spirit, and expresses sincere gratitude for the vital role she plays in creating a welcoming and supportive school environment. 3 words best describe Mrs. Connors: kind, caring, and helpful. Congratulations. All right, so once again, thank you. Congratulations to the Students of the Month. As I say every month, you represent the best of us. Without you, we don't open our doors. I'm so grateful that your families have chosen Cuyahoga Heights Schools. We're grateful for the wonderful staff members who show up every day to support you. We hope after next week you have a wonderful summer. We can't wait to see you next year. We're going to take a short recess, go out and get pictures with the backdrop and the Board of Education, and afterwards, ice cream, video games, staying up late. Exactly. But you got to work that out with your parents. That's not it. All right.
Good tease. Teaser. Real teaser.
Okay, now we're ready. Okay, we are reconvening from our photo op and moving into section 5, which is comments from the public. Board of Education does recognize the value to school governance of public comments. There's a long paragraph here. I won't go through it, the entire thing, but just to point out that each person has a maximum of 3 minutes. We do have 12 people on the list, so this could take a while. Warning. And we're going to start with Frank Domzalski.
I am here this evening to make a statement about the determination of my vacation payout by Mr. Young and Mr. Muccio. Through public records request, I now have in my possession multiple instances of irregularities to the way I was treated upon leaving the district compared to those who left before me. Multiple 260 Chase employees left in the time period I was employed, yet I was treated differently. I ask why. I spoke with Mr. Muccio and asked him if he looked at the information I emailed him that Ms. Mooney provided to me, and he proceeded to dismiss me, telling me I am not going to discuss another employee payout, and he had no time to look at the situation because he was, quote, busy watching the Cavs game. Mr. Young proceeded to change the reasoning from maybe we paid Ms. Mooney wrong to contract language changed to the contract she was hired under was different. I public records requested the 1986 employment contract which Ms. Mooney was hired under. Through the email change, it shows that administration had trouble finding it after my public records request, so why was I told that this was discussed and that contract language was different? Furthermore, it was stated to me that your legal counsel was in on the discussion, yet through my public records request, it displays that in 2019, when David Domzalski was retiring, this question was asked to your legal counsel, and it was determined that they owed Mr. Domzalski the balance of his vacation days plus prorated days for working through December 31st. As shown on his direct deposit slip I obtained, he was paid correctly. In that same email, ORC 124.13 was cited by your legal counsel as reasoning for paying out the prorated vacation days. In that same email chain is a statement explaining that Ms. Mooney gets the balance of her days plus 12 and a half prorated days for working through December 31st, with Mr. Muccio's initials next to it. I'm presuming as a directive to the payroll clerk on how to pay it out. I also have Ms. Mooney's direct deposit slip showing she was paid out correctly. Upon my separation, I had a balance of 5 vacation days, which was reduced to 3.75 paid out to me, and I did not receive a payout of the 13.75 vacation days I was owed for the months I worked of this current contract. All subsequent contracts after the 1986 contract show no change in contract language that directs how vacation time is earned and paid out. I can only ask, why is it different for me than other former employees? I ask the board to do the right thing, award me the payout of the 15 vacation days I'm owed per the Chase contract, and just treat me the way other employees were treated upon separation per the contract language. I believe it is unnecessary to force me to file a grievance on this situation, spending more public tax dollars and legal fees when I have cited everything you need to make the proper determination. I ask for your assurance that you will look into the facts I laid out before you. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving down the list, we have Grace Perzniak. I'm not sure if I can pronounce that correctly. Pazertevich. I knew the last part. It was that first part I was struggling with. All right. Oh, good idea. Oh, that should work better. All right, Grace, you're on.
Hi, my name is Grace Pestragavis. I'm in the third grade. I'm in third grade. What if we Girl Scouts could help with problems? For example, stress is a problem. Lots of kids in the school get stressed about certain subjects. Reading, math, and writing, for instance, and that's only the basics.
Thank you, Grace. We have Amelia Rossi next.
Hi, my name is Amelia Rossi, and I'm in third grade. Stress is a big problem, and we can help lead the poor in mental health. In Ohio, 1 in 3 students suffer from anxiety, according to the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce website.
Well, thank you. And Vera?
Hi, my name is Vera Paus, and I'm in third grade. There are many possible solutions to stress, but we believe one thing that could help is a Talmud room. A Talmud room is a designated space where students can calm down, relax, and process their emotions.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Grace Davis, and I'm in third grade. At CHES, we already have a calming room for students with special needs. We know it's especially important for these students to have a place to calm down. But what if we could have one for every one of us?
Thank
Hi.
you.
Hi, my name's Abby Josek. I'm in third grade. Any one of us could be having a hard time when learning multiple things at one time. People can calm down their emotions when they are having a hard time, whether it is math, written wisdom, specials, or anything else. Hi, my name is Skylar Gilbert, and I am in second grade. We are always learning new things and maybe getting frustrated. It will be helpful for kids if they will not be frustrated if a kid is having a hard time in class.
Hi, my name is Addie and I am in third grade. We have one idea for where the calming room could be. We could share the current room that is for kids with special needs, or maybe there is a better option. We hope you can help us find a place.
Hi, my name is Alex Cable, and I am in third grade. We have a few ideas for how to make sure the calming room is not abused, and if we end up using one space, has plenty of space for students with special needs. Teachers could help identify students who are having a hard time and allow them to take a break in the calming room during specials. Kids could buy passes from the pop-up cart and work with their teachers to figure out when to use them. Kids with special needs would be the priority. So if you go in there and someone with special needs is having a hard time, they would get to come in.
Hi, my name is Quinn Zahand and I am in third grade. We know it might cost money to update a room or buy supplies. Our Girl Scout troop could help purchase some. We could also host a donation drive, school drive and ask the community to bring in items. We could advertise on the digital sign outside the school.
Hi, my name is Ali and I'm in second grade. Thank you for listening for our idea. Stress is a big deal in our elementary school, and we are hopeful we can work together to reduce it.
Thank you.
Many thanks to all the Girl Scouts for being here tonight and for sharing your thoughts with us. And now we have Mr. Martin on the list. Okay, very good. Thank you, Mr. Martin. All right, thank you, girls. I'll give you a chance to head home for a little treat.
Yeah, that's so cute.
That was nice.
All right, moving on to section 6, treasurer's business.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a couple items for approval tonight. I ask for items 6A, 7A through 7D. This covers 8A and 8B. The consent agenda tonight.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion for those items, please.
So moved?
Second?
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, just a couple items to point out. For 7B, we have purchase orders over 5,000. If we click on our lead sheet, we have 7. First one is for Alco Chemical. That's for our high school gym refinishing, $16,575 out of our permanent improvement fund. Number 2, Neonet, 120 student Chromebooks and licenses. That's $41,560 in total out of our 003 Permanent Improvement Technology Fund. Number 3 is BSN Sports. That's for new athletic lockers. That's $8,907.54 out of our general fund. Number 4 is Achievement Centers for Children. Number 5 is Monarch School for Autism. And number 6 is Star Camp. Those are all extended school year for students with special needs. The first one's $5,510. The second one is $8,168.85. And the last one is $18,475. Number 7 is Rydell All American Sports. That's for football equipment reconditioning, $6,138.60 out of our athletic fund. Any questions on those? Nothing. Okay. Let's see. C is a new grant that we got, $1,000, and it's for, 3 teachers were awarded this grant from the Martha Holden Jennings Foundation for Teachers Award of Excellence. And those 3 teachers would be Wendy Chahaki, Matt Luganbill, and Kristen Rex. So we're thankful for that. Congratulations to them. 7D is going to be a modification to our permanent appropriations. So we just have 2. We're going to increase our general fund by $100,000. That's to match our May 2025 5-year forecast that we had approved at the meeting 2 weeks earlier. And number 2 is going to be a small increase for $1,000 in Fund 451, which is our subsidy that we get from the state. They increased it a little bit more, so we received a little bit more money, so this is for us to be able to spend that money that we have. E, this is approval of our annual property insurance, liability insurance through SORSA. It's $120,574. It went up about 7%. About 5% was the average overall, but different schools get different allocations there. We did bid this out in 2023, and SORSA was the best insurance company at that time. We had a property assessment that was done that was new, as well as just, inflation is going up. So if the crane were to come for the hillside and tip into our building, and insurance, had to cover, a portion of that. The what?
I know, he put that in the universe, so.
Well, I'm just saying, like.
Yeah, thanks for that one,
Right.
Matthew.
The cost of materials and whatnot is just increasing, so it's just the cost of, where everything's at this point in time, similar to like a balance sheet.
So this insurance is strictly for the property?
Correct.
It's
Building,
not any
the
other type of
facilities,
insurance?
The cars, the buses, the vans, the whole property.
Our
As well
assets.
as capital values, as well as employees for any matters that were to happen, financial if we were to get, software hacked or ransomware or whatnot. So it's all inclusive, what it is.
Okay. Thank you.
And if we wanted to look closer, if you look at the administrative content, I did put it out there because it has, talks about all of our different coverage items that we have, but everything's in there in that attachment that we would have. We would go back and look through that. 8A and 8B would be the employment contracts, the continuing contracts for the treasurer's office, Ulixa Rodriguez, payroll and HR specialist, as well as Kathy Martin, the assistant treasurer that we have before you. And those increases represent what we had done year by year since 2022 when we created those salary schedules in place. And those mimic both collective bargaining agreements that we have.
Right.
And that's all I have for tonight. For approval.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Are there any questions for the treasurer? Hearing no further discussion, treasurer, please call the roll.
Mrs. Decker.
Aye.
Mr. Dobbins.
Aye.
Mrs. Etter.
Aye.
Ms. Prowse.
Aye.
Mr. Souchak.
Aye, motion passes 5-0. Moving on to section 10, treasurer's discussion and comments.
Yes, a couple items for discussion tonight. The first one, 10A. So that attachment there is our annual closeout, which these items are requested by the County Budget Commission. So the first one, they're asking for all final revisions of revenues and appropriations for fiscal year 25. Number 2 is beginning unencumbered fund balances and revisions for fiscal 26 estimated revenues. And number 3 approved as temporary or annual appropriations for fiscal year '26. So they're asking for those items by July 11th. I've given them early every year for the past 8 years, but I just wanted to show what's included with Budget Commission Act. The next item that we have is going to be our capital improvement projects. So we have 3 large projects going on right now. Matt, I'm not sure if you wanted to add anything to that as I'm just going through the timeline, but
Sure.
our timeline of each of those projects, when they start. So the first one is construction of our second digital billboard by Lamar, and that's a 2-week construction timeline beginning June 9th. I'm not sure if you wanted to add anything to that one.
It's a 2-week project. The first week is going to involve bringing in basically metal plates to lay along the route down to the bottom of the hill. Then they're going to bring in approximately 90 truckloads of fill dirt down there, and then level all that. The following week, week 2, they're going to come in and actually install the digital sign itself. That's their plan.
Now, is this sign going to be digital on 2 sides? Or is it digital only on 1 side? Do we know?
I believe it's one side.
Okay.
And actually, if we were to open that attachment and the administrative content that says Lamar, we've actually been planning this with Lamar for over a year. So the last email, 6 of 6, began May 10th. So that's when they started to apply to ODOT to modify the one existing, or modify one of the existing permits to the digital face that they had. So they began over a year ago on this process. And then in August of '24, they secured the permit from ODOT. And then they were working on final blueprints from engineers on that project. January 7th, they had some updates, and they were looking at a tentative timeline mid to late February at that point, weather permitting. February comes, and they were still working on construction, and here we are, in the month of May going into June.
Yeah, they had hoped to do it over spring break, but realized they needed 2 weeks, and 2 weeks wasn't enough time to deal with the level of work that they need to do just to prep to get the sign down there. So.
But we had already received the prorated revenue in March, so they gave it to us early.
Yeah, and we received an extension, or they received an extension on their, the building permit with the village, so they did everything necessary there too.
And do I remember reading somewhere that they're coming in through Grant, or they're not going right?
They're gonna go Grant, and they're gonna turn, right and come south, and then they'll come in right, north end of the parking lot by the cemetery in front of the mechanics garage, and then down the side hill.
Okay, so it won't interfere with the Hillside project? It'll be
No, the good news of that is the Hillside project got, as Matt will tell you, it was originally scheduled to begin June 9th at the same time, but they've pushed it back to June 16th without a delay in their anticipated completion time, according to them. So a lot of the heavy equipment moving with Lamar will be done by the time they come in. So, and we had asked if there would be an overlap of the plating. If there's going to be any conflict there, and there didn't seem to be. So.
Yeah, so just talking about number 2, which is the Hillside Stabilization Project with Rulin, it's a 55-day construction timeline that's now beginning June 16th. As Matt was saying, it was scheduled to begin June 9th. However, Rulin had scheduling conflicts with the plate pile crew, and they had to push the start date back. We were to open that attachment that we have there. It just talks about the email that they said that they have to push the start date back. And then they go on to say, we are confident there will be no issues with achieving the completion date, fingers crossed. And then, if we go further through on page 4 of 8, that's one of the pre-construction meetings that we had with Rulin, the company that's doing that, Hillside Stabilization. So this just goes to show how many people are involved in these pre-construction meetings. So we have our team, Matt Young, George, myself, Mr. Zerbola, we have Rulin, and then we also have GPD, and they have 4 people that were on the call. Nate Gotlabowski, I believe, came to one of the board meetings to speak on that. So we're constantly going over all aspects of the project every 2 weeks, is where we're at. And then the last project timeline we have is the high school, middle school fire alarm security project with Einheit. That's a 275-day construction timeline project beginning June 4th. And that attachment also has the same fire alarm pre-construction meeting. We just had that. Feels like it was last week, but it was May 1st. Just more than that.
We've had a couple
Yep.
other meetings with them, though. We had one
Yep.
last week, and they've done, I think, 2 or 3 walkthroughs with Mr. Zerbola.
Yep, so we can see from that first page, page 2 of 5, everybody that's on the call. So it's the 4 of us, it's 6 people from Einheit. Paladin is subcontracting 3 people from there. We have GPD, as well as a subcontractor from GPD, which is IMEG. So a lot of people involved on that project. Just going over all the specifics that we have on it too. So just wanted to include that as, we're gonna start seeing construction begin soon.
Yeah, people will just have to be patient. These are projects where we actually have to yield to the people doing the work as opposed to, wanting things for our own convenience. And it's going to be challenging, juggling all the schedules, but we plan to get an update at least every other week, if not at the end of every week, with every one of these groups. So communication should be pretty strong. Rulin's going to work simultaneously on the south and north end, which is why I think they believe they can stay on target even with the week delay. As far as the fire system goes, they're hoping that they are ready by the staff first day. I mean, I can anticipate there's probably miles of cable they're going to have to run. Miles. I mean, I don't know how many miles, but it's simple, not simple at the same time. The security piece will be the last piece that they work on, which may be happening once school already starts. So they do have 275 days. It's a big project, but they're hopeful to get at least the fire part done by the start of the school year. The old system will remain active as long as it's operating. It was glitching on us last week a little bit and over the weekend, but we'll see. We'll see. We've got good people working on these, so we're hopeful.
Right.
Yep, and the last item is HB 96. So in the public content section, just a couple bullet points of what I've been doing, but I know that, Mr. Dobbins had emailed Senator Serino, Mr. Young had also emailed numerous senators and I believe House members as well. Back on Wednesday, April 2nd, I emailed the entire Senate and entire House of Representatives, along with all of their aides, to express our concerns regarding HB 96. In particular, the cash carryover cap that they have. Then again, on April 22nd, I emailed the entire Senate and House of Representatives and their aides to express our concerns. Friday, May 9th, Mr. Young and myself attended a meeting with Senator Serino, who's the chair of the Senate Finance Committee, along with other superintendents and treasurers to discuss HB 96, and we all expressed our concerns in person to Senator Serino. Tuesday, May 13th, I emailed the entire Senate and House of Representatives and their aides again to express concerns. Friday, May 23rd, Mr. Young and myself submitted testimony to the Senate Finance Committee in opposition to HB 96, and Mr. Young's going to talk more on that. And then just today, I emailed the entire Senate and House of Representatives and their aides to express concerns regarding HB 96. And I did forward to the board the response that I got from Lauren McNally, State Representative, who, she did say, thanks for reaching out again about this. It's so important for people in your position to speak up about how this will affect your schools. It's irresponsible to pass a provision like this and compromise the financial stability of our public schools. She sincerely hopes that they can fix this before a final version of the budget comes out. So that was positive to see. Also got a voicemail from another House of Representatives member a while back. So we're seeing inroads with everything we do. Along with that, we have a couple resolutions that were attached in the administrative content, and we can put together our own with the thought that we would have it for board approval if the board chooses at the next board meeting that we would have in June. Is there any one of those resolutions that we kind of like to start out with, more so than the other? We have Worthington. Thank you, Mr. Dobbins, for sending that one. We have Fairview Park, Twinsburg, Brunswick, as well as the Akron Area School Superintendent Association. My favorite one is Brunswick's, because that's really highlighting the cash carryover limitations, which would harm our district the most. What we can do is Mr. Young and myself can put together a draft in a Google Doc and send it out to everybody, and all 5 board members can modify that Google Doc in the next 2 weeks or so. So when we bring that forward, if the board chooses, that could be the resolution that gets voted on by the board.
Yes, that sounds good.
That's excellent.
What are your thoughts?
Something wrong?
I question maybe the open Google Doc, because that's communication back and forth between 7 people, which I would have questions about whether that would violate sunshine laws, potentially. Because if we're all communicating back and forth with each other, essentially we're having dialogue.
Well, more editing it. So we could say, take this out in an email to me. So if you email me, what, do we want to have, okay, so we have the Google Doc. If you say email, take this out, email
Yeah,
exchange.
individually to Mr. Muccio, that would be
Okay.
better than having a live document that's going back and forth that has a history record of everybody's editing.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I just want to make sure
good
that
point.
part's tightened up, that's all. I think it's a great idea to get
Yeah,
feedback,
I think we
for sure.
should do this. This needs to be done.
So, Mr. Muccio and Mr. Young, I just want to take just a minute to thank you and your team for the work that you've done, whether it's capital improvements or this unanticipated, unforeseen effort to lobby against this HB 96 proposal. And then I bumped into Mr. Zabola prior to the last agenda meeting, and he had just come off almost a 24-hour shift, filling in.
That's correct.
Because our fire alarm system had failed, and so I just want to express my appreciation to him and to you and to the entire team for what you're doing to help the district move forward. Thank you.
And we had one last thing too for HB 96, Matt, did you want to, this goes back to May 23rd, this past Friday, when we submitted our one-pager that I believe Matt passed out.
Yeah, what you have right now, this was a
excellent.
one-page, it's actually one sheet of paper, it's a back and
Yeah.
two-sided, pretty clear bullet pointed, I think, as opposed to getting lost in a lot of words and jargon. Just expressing our concern about the cash carryover balance and why it's not good for our school district, why we don't think it's good for any school district. And we even provided potential solutions, if you look on the back, as to what the solutions would be. We did submit that last Friday to the Senate Finance Committee for the possibility to travel to Columbus on, there were 2 dates, or sorry, there were 4 dates. The 27th, which was yesterday, the 28th, which was today, the 29th tomorrow, and then the 30th, which is Friday. And Friday's the last day that they're going to receive testimony. The Finance Committee will. So we did submit this. They did receive it. We got verification that they received it. And then it's up to us whether we want to actually drive down and speak before the Senate Finance Committee. We're given 3 minutes to speak, which essentially then we would have to explain this in 3 minutes or less in a very respectful, tactful way. We're already on the record with written testimony, so it would be a matter of whether we want to have verbal testimony as well. So what are your thoughts? Matt, so he said, let's go, let's do it. Make sure you speak. You're a better public speaker than I am, so. It's an easy decision for Mr. Muccio, but we've been collaborating on this, and he was more than willing to step in and speak. But no, unfortunately, we submitted together jointly on this, so no, it's not 3 minutes each. So I've been working on a potential draft of this that expresses all of this in under 3 minutes. It's about telling our story, but it's also about public education in general. And I think the big thing is we need flexibility. Every district is unique. They have a multitude of factors that create their story. Districts that are fiscally responsible, like we are, the one-size-fits-all doesn't work for us, nor does it work for any other school district that's fiscally responsible. And you shouldn't necessarily punish those that are fiscally responsible. I'm not saying everybody is, and so I'm not going to pretend that there doesn't need to be reform, there doesn't need to be limitations, there doesn't need to be tighter local control, but it should be local control, and it should be boards of education that are voted in that help set policy about those cash carryover caps or limits or whatever they are. There's already a mechanism in place that if the community doesn't like it, they can go to the polls and they can speak with their vote. And we feel that the lack of flexibility in the current proposal is harmful to us when we are already the third lowest in receiving state funding in all of Ohio. We are losing tangible personal property tax through the phase out. We've lost $16 million. We'll lose 36 by the time we're at 2031. 67% of our funding comes from our local effort. So this is going to strain the local effort even more. Our facilities are approaching 90 years old on this side of the parking lot. We're number 600 out of 609 on the OFCC list to receive funding from the state of Ohio, so we will not receive funding from the state of Ohio. We have to fund those things ourselves. We are self-sustaining. And so it's important that we have cash carryover balances and that we have capital improvement plans and that we are fiscally responsible and have strategic plans that define that, as well as financial plans like our 5-year forecast. And to base it simply on a single year or a 2-year forecast or a 3-year forecast doesn't show the long-term planning necessary for districts like us. I know we're not the only one, but we are unique. Nobody else has our circumstances. So, is that under 3 minutes?
It's really good.
So
It's really good.
That was very concise.
You should go. I'm with Mr. Muccio.
Yeah, and there are many other schools. You can go, we can send you the link, and if you want to see over the 4-day period, which entities go down, and they're talking about the whole budget. It's the finance committee, so it's, I forget how many billions of dollars this budget is. So everybody wants a piece of the pie.
Right.
And including public schools. So we want to be respectful of that piece, but, we need flexibility.
Yeah.
We need fiscal accountability and responsibility. We feel we have it. We just don't want to lose the flexibility.
Yeah, but we aren't asking for a piece of the pie, we're just asking to be able to keep the one we already have.
That's correct. In fact, they can keep their piece of our pie. They can keep their $900,000 compared to taking away $10 million
Right.
Exactly.
through a cash carryover cap. So, yeah, I mean, we take all the money we can get. I'm grateful for that, but if you had to pick and choose, which is the bigger deal for us? It's not the Fair School Funding Formula, although we recognize that is significant for many other school districts. Clearly, it's the cash carryover
Right.
cap. So that's what we've tended to focus on. And again, we've offered solutions, and you can see those on the back that offer that. It's not just about, we're not going down there to criticize, we're there to share our story and then offer solutions for consideration.
Right.
If we go.
Yeah,
So, Mr. Young and Mr. Muccio, do you have any idea what the current timeline is? I think I heard on a phone call last week that the Senate Finance Committee could finish its deliberations as early as, is it June 3rd?
I believe that is when the initial version of the Senate's amendments to the House bill are due.
Okay.
By June
So
4th.
the amendments are due by the 4th?
It's a third of the 4th.
Yeah,
It's
that's
one of
what I
those
was kinda-
days.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be
Basically-
a 9-day period in which
Okay.
it's called an omnibus bill has to be created, and so that would be done 9 days later.
Right.
And at that point, they would work to then finalize the version that's going to go to the governor, which I believe is by June 25th. They anticipate it's going to the governor, which has to be signed into law by June 30th.
Right. Okay, so the
So there's
window
not a
is-
lot of time to get to the governor. So
Right.
honestly, I think, one of Matt's, Mr. Muccio's strategies has been to include the governor's office on some of his communications, because the time we're going to have to get to the governor is going to be really small.
Sure, yeah. Well, that's why I was asking about the overall timeline, is that we're talking about a number of very discrete actions that would be helpful, but I just didn't know in the context of where this falls relative to the legislation's progress.
We would get the last word. If we go down on the 30th, that's the last day that they're hearing testimony. Then they go into the weekend, and then by next Tuesday or Wednesday, they've got their version of the bill. So,
Well, I very much appreciate your efforts. It's above and beyond what you've done, so thank you.
Right, thank you.
Good.
My last question on this is there any more clarity to the money they would take, where it would go, how it would be then distributed? How would, in effect, would it then go back and benefit what they want, I believe, which is property tax relief? Is that what their aim is here?
Possibly, yeah. They almost want to fix a problem, what people out there think with, the valuations going up on housing, that in turn it affects property taxes. So they're trying to say like, okay, there's this problem that occurred, and we know that, housing valuations increased a lot during COVID. If anything, with all the ESSER money that came out there, I mean, did that kind of flood the zone and, in part contribute to inflation? But schools in and of themselves, they're trying to, again, fix the problem, but schools didn't create the problem of housing, values going up. So, as Mr. Young was talking about, how, the one size fits all that they're trying to, place on the shoulders of school districts, to us just doesn't make sense.
Like, there's no more clarity or directive of where the money's going, and how does it filter back to really make a benefit? I mean,
Right.
they're not talking about that, they're not explaining that.
Right.
I think there's even concern with the Budget Commission about who is going to be in charge of that, whether it's going to be
Yeah.
a commissioner, which is voted in, and there may be conflicts of interest with that, as opposed to a legal representative who is supposed to be, bipartisan, nonpartisan, whatever you want to say, and following laws and ethics. As I say that about an attorney, laws and ethics, I think you can say that. I do have dates for you, Mr. Dobbins. So last week, on May 16th, the amendments for the substitute bill were due into the Senate, and then there was public testimony this week, all right, with the Finance Committee. The substitute bill will be introduced by the Senate on June 3rd. On June 6th, amendments for the omnibus bill are due. On 6/12, there's going to be, it's a Thursday, there's going to be a Senate floor vote. And then on 24th of June, the conference committee adopts the final budget report. On 6/25, the final House and Senate vote on the operational budget, and then the legal deadline for signature is 6/30. So those are the dates that BASA provided to us. It's happening pretty quickly at this point.
And I noticed that we're, at least looking ahead on our agenda, we have meetings scheduled, a work session on the 11th, and then a special meeting on the 18th. I guess maybe we could have modified that if we needed to work something into the agenda. And then the 25th, we have another meeting, but that seemingly is after this event has happened.
Yeah.
I just put that out there. Thank you.
So what are your thoughts on Friday?
About going?
Yeah. Should we give it a go, or?
It feels like it's pretty important for
Yeah.
us specifically. That said, I mean, you guys have a million things that you're juggling, so I don't want to be the one to tell you to go, but
Right.
Right,
if you decide you want to go, I'm personally supportive.
Yeah.
right.
Well, thank you. The way I look at it is, it's $10 million potentially that we're looking at, so anything and everything. I'm
Right.
willing to do. So we'll go down there, and I'll probably push Matt to the front so he can.
No, it's fine.
No, I'll talk.
It's fine. We'll have it all
But we'll do it
buttoned
together.
away.
Yep.
Yeah.
We just have to decide on an approach.
Most appreciative if you
Yeah.
could go, but we so understand that
Oh, yeah.
this is the busiest time of the year for the school to wrap up things for the end of the school year.
It's
as
busy
well.
for Mr. Dtre right now, getting ready for commencement, but we have time.
I would
You
also.
you make time for this because, as you said, it's a $10 million
Yeah.
advocacy effort on our part, and it's not just even that. It's
Principal.
it's public schools. It's support of public schools. It's support of what has been part of this state for 250 years, right? And it's also bigger than us. It's about little old us, but it's also bigger than us. And if we have an opportunity, my mom would be proud. She'll probably listen to the live. If she knows I'm going to speak, she'll be on the wire listening. But it's an important thing, and I think we both have room in our schedule to go down and do it.
To that end, I would just suggest if you have the time and you do go, that you formalize what you did in some kind of a community newsletter, one of your weekly updates or something to that effect, so that the community can kind of follow along, because you did a nice job of laying out the issue, but your follow-up, I think, is really
Yeah,
critical.
that'll go in the it would have to go in the following
The
week's
word,
newsletter,
yeah,
probably the one that ends the school year, as
Right.
opposed to
But
you know,
yeah, to
the
provide a
one before.
status
Yeah,
and
you
what
could
you've
do it the
done
same day.
to this point, I think would be really clarifying for the community, or illuminating. Thank you.
That's all I have for tonight. Thank
Okay, thank you. Then we are moving into section 11, superintendent's business.
Get myself organized here. Okay, on the consent agenda, we have items 11A through C, item 12A, items 13A through F, and items 14A through E for consideration.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion for the superintendent's agenda items. Moved by Ms. Proust,
Second?
second by Mr. Dobbins. Discussion, please.
Okay, 11A and B, these are kind of blanket approvals to allow us to do intervention assistance, middle school, high school study tables, detentions, Saturday schools, and so on for next school year. So rather than approving a couple teachers here or a couple staff members there, we go ahead and make a blanket approval of all certificated staff members for next school year. Letter C is a memorandum of understanding between Chase and the Board of Education related to Article 30 of the Chase Agreement, as well as a resolution agreement with a Chase employee per that particular attachment. 11A, this is the resignation of elementary school art teacher, Mrs. Kelly Orlando. After a decade with the district, she has decided that while her children are young and she has the ability to do it, she wants to be the teacher mom at home, and I think that's just fantastic. She has just been a great addition to our school district and our elementary school, our AMP team over there, and you can always replace the position, you can't replace the person. So congratulations to her and good luck. Letter 13A, this is the reemployment of our EMS coordinator, Mrs. Dietzel, who has been doing this for a number of years, about 2 decades. One of the most important positions in the district, and believe it or not, we're getting her for a steal, but don't tell her that. Letter B is to approve extended time for our school counselors over at we've got Mrs. Satterley over at the elementary school for, I believe it's my attachment sideways here. Let me get it here. Up to 7 days for Mrs. LeBenz, up to 10 days for Mrs. Thrasher, up to 10 days. And if they don't happen to get this done in that particular period of time, it could potentially extend into the next school year over breaks and things like that. But they do an awful lot of work. I know Mrs. Satterley does some work with the Valley View Community Center, doing some work over there in the summertime. And then a lot of work with schedules and transcripts and modifications that Mrs. Thrasher and Mrs. LeBenz does during the summer, so it's needed time that we've been doing for a couple years now. Letter C, these are chat supplemental contracts. In there, you're going to find everything from your team leaders, department coordinators, science fair coordinators, class advisors, and so on. This is the big mass approval of those positions for next school year. There'll be a few more that we have to add along the way, but most have been approved. I want to thank our staff for getting those recommendations to Mr. Melvin and Mr. Dtre so that they could get this list together. Next, this is our miscellaneous pay rate schedule approval. Most of these are for the summertime. You've got your summer cleaners, you've got your summer student maintenance workers, but then you have some that go into next school year, like your progress book coordinators. One does the staff side, one does the student side. Your substitute caller, again, one it's elementary school, one's at the middle school, high school, all for the school year. Laundress is on there. So that is recommended for approval. Letter E, this is transportation call those supplemental contracts for our transportation folks. So we have our AM coordinator, our PM coordinator, our pre-K routes, our career center route, and our bus washer for next school year. Letter F is also for transportation, but this is specifically for the summertime, mostly related to extended school year for students who require that per their IEP, as well as a summer bus washer and a summer transportation coordinator. 14, this is approve our membership with Alliance of High Quality Education. When Senate Bill 96 dropped on April Fool's Day, Tony Potagill was the first person we called. Tony Potagill was actually in a Finance Committee meeting at the State House and texted us back that he would call us immediately, and I think we were the first ones to sound the alarm to Tony Potagill at the Alliance of High Quality Education. So they've been very helpful, very informative, very level-headed along the way, as have a number of other groups, but this is for next school year. Letter B is to approve our membership into the Cuyahoga Valley Chamber of Commerce for 25-26. Letter C is to approve our USDA child nutrition programs for 25-26. Letter D, this should actually be not for 25-26. That's an error. It should be for 2025. It's for the district track meet that we held last week that we need to pay people at those rates. So it's not for 25-26. That's an error. So Mr. Muccio, please note that. That should be for, yeah, it's for 2025, spring of 25. So I apologize for that error. And then letter E, this is to approve, it's a change form with PSI that allows us to have a nurse present for extended school year for a student who may require medical supervision during the extended school year time. This allows us to pay that out between June 9th and June 27th of 2025 per the attachments. And I think that's all the items there.
All right, thank you. Is there any further discussion or questions from the board? Hearing none, treasurer, please call the roll.
Ms. Prowse.
Aye.
Mr. Dobbins.
Aye.
Mrs. Etter.
Aye.
Mrs. Decker.
Aye.
Mr. Souchaki.
Aye, motion passes 5-0. Moving on to section 16, superintendent comments.
Yeah, just a few more here because we spent a lot of time on the cash carryover. Congrats to our sports teams. Regional competition tonight for our track team, tonight and Friday. I know our softball team was in the regional semifinals tonight. Our baseball team was in the district semifinals. So congratulations to all of them for an outstanding spring season. I attended all three Memorial Day parades on Monday. All three villages did a tremendous job. They were all unique, but yet all honored those that have served our country, given the ultimate sacrifice, and really appreciate the patriotism, appreciate the community involvement, and including our band. It was great. Our band was able to participate in all three, and thanks to our directors who were here, on the holiday. Last night, we're winding down with our seniors here. Last night was a fantastic senior awards reception. So many students were honored, not just with awards, but with memorial scholarships. And I was telling Mr. Dutray, I don't know when you're young that you realize that people that are given those memorial scholarships, they're looking for somebody who reminds them of that friend, that colleague, that teacher, that loved one who went before them, and to be selected for those is something really special. As well as, when you grow up in the villages, the service clubs give back to the kids within their communities. I think that's tremendous, and you see that on small scales, but you don't see it necessarily on the magnitude that it happens here. I just think the whole night was very well done, and then they've continued with their events. They did. I think it's one of the first senior sunset events that we've done. I don't remember any in the 9 years that I've been here. We did senior projects the last 2 days. We start with our practices in the morning, and on Friday we're going to go to an event, play games, is that right? Eat, play games. What's that place called? The main event. Going to the main event. We do the senior parade. And we finally wrap everything up on Sunday with commencement at 12 o'clock. Mr. Hartman has guaranteed me that we'll be streaming that event, so we'll make sure that link gets out so those that can't join us in person can watch us anywhere. I watched it in Italy 2 years ago, and it was fantastic. Few things. We're almost done. State test results are back, fully in. We're in the process of verifying all the results. Again, I'm so proud of our students and our staff and the families that support the state testing efforts. And, I think we're on par with what we've done in the past, but, you never know how you compare to other people. If other people do just a little bit better or a little bit worse, it determines your ranking. But I'm confident that we're going to be in the same ballpark that we have been in the past. And then next week is the last week of school. We have final exams in the high school, which creates an early release schedule for our middle school and our high school on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then our elementary school is an early release on Thursday only. Everybody's out on Friday as far as the kids go, and our staff will do our staff recognition where we'll honor our years of service recipients as well as our retirees. So that's where we are. It's hard to believe that the end of the school year is next week.
It is here. We have made it.
What's that?
We made it.
Yeah, well, we're already planning for next year, as most
Right.
of my side of the agenda is about 25, 26, so
Right.
the show goes on.
Yes.
I was gonna say, I think isn't there one other, major event next week with the dedication of Officer Durbin's monument?
Yeah, so on June 4th at 6:30 p.m., the class of 2018 is going to dedicate the monument that they, along with some support, they were able to purchase. Last meeting, we recognized the two organizations who donated the materials and then the labor for the concrete pad that's going to support the monument that the class of 2018 has purchased for Officer Jacob Durbin's memory. So that is next Wednesday is it Wednesday? Is that the 4th? Yeah, at 6:30 p.m. Correct.
Okay. Anything else? All right. Moving on to section 17, board discussion committee reports and comments. Anybody?
I just wanted to say, I wanted to say it earlier, I wanted to congratulate our kindergarten teachers for Wendy Shikaki and Dr. Rubenbill and Ms. Rex for getting that Martha Holding Jennings Foundation Award. That's outstanding. I mean, any award, but it's nice that they even applied for it and that we received it, and is a testament to the great work that's being done in our kindergarten area.
Yeah, they did some really innovative things this year. They did the almost trimester type of rotations so that every student got exposed to every teacher. Their curriculum, which is the CKLA curriculum, has 12 distinct learning units, and they try to create an authentic experience, whether it's in-house or as a field trip for all of those. Dr. Luganbill had approached myself and Mr. Melvin a couple months ago, maybe 3 months ago, and asked if we would be willing to write a recommendation. Absolutely. They're doing amazing things, as so many people are in the district, and it's great when you get recognized, but it's better to get recognized as a team, right? Because that's what it's all about. We put that all on everybody's shirts to start the year. It was the best team ever, and to be a team is so much better than being a great individual. So, really proud of what they did there.
I also just wanted to dovetail on your comments about Senior Awards Night. I am always so impressed with the achievements of our students, the talent of our students, and the generosity of our students with giving so many volunteer hours. And last night I was quite impressed with the fact that it seemed like everybody got something. It wasn't the same one or two students that received the awards. It was really spread out. And I think that's a wonderful statement that there's that much talent, that much educated scholars in our district among our graduating class. So that really, I was quite impressed with that.
Okay, anybody else? A few things from the Career Center. We had our meeting last week. It started with the recognition, the award ceremony for the students. We actually opened the meeting, do the award ceremony, and then adjourned to the boardroom for the rest of the meeting. There were 407 seniors recognized, which is a new school record. They commented that one of the people recognized is being hired as a part-time computer technician for the Career Center. He will be also doing college work on working on his degree. And as the superintendent put it, if we would not hire our own graduates, how could we expect anyone else to do that? So, and he's probably the third or fourth one to come up into the IT group through the school itself. The 5-year forecast was presented. It's about the same as last year. There was a note on House Bill 96. The career centers are not included in that limitation. And when some discussion on why that happened, it essentially was said somebody forgot. Basically, they just didn't think of it. They didn't specify it in the bill, so it's not in the bill. How true that is or not, I don't know. That's coming, but that was the comment made. We talked about the significant savings from healthcare with the change in having everybody on the same plan has made a big difference. The staff does like it. We ought to probably talk about that some more here as well, to move everybody to the, and why can't I think of the right name? Matt, give me the name.
HSA.
HSA, thank you. Well, we may want to push that a little harder or talk about that possibility, but they gave them, there was no choice. Everybody had to move to the HSA, and there have been essentially no complaints about that. It's working very well, and it's saving the school money. And
They
that
also
includes, of course,
Yeah.
giving the money to the employees to cover the deductible.
Yeah, they said some of the money that they save from that allows them to have the career specialist full-time at the school districts next
Right.
year. So they pay for that. Mrs. Regula is here, and she'll be here every single staff day next year.
Right,
And that's a result of some of the savings that they got from the HSA.
yes. Yes, we don't have to share her anymore. There was some discussion of the construction going on, of course, which is affecting the construction department, electrical, HVAC, and park and environments. We talked about heavy equipment, and we're going to do small, starting next year, I believe. I think they're doing a pilot next year and then going full-blown the following year, by doing training on small, heavy equipment at the Career Center. And they're looking into CAT simulators for the larger equipment to see if that would fit into our curriculum and our needs. And if it does, then we'll pursue it. There's also some internal service for power equipment program they're working on. And we are going to be one of 5 CAT schools. And I think I didn't write down, is it in the state? I assume it's in the state, doing that kind of training. So as always, trying to look for what the community needs, what the businesses are requiring, and how we can fill that need. So things are going well at the Career Center. And of course, as you would expect, the Student Connection feature for this month is Emily Sinicki. Okay, I don't have anything else. So moving on to 18, future agenda items. Anybody have any?
Just
Okay,
the meeting on the 18th, the special meeting on the 18th.
we do have the special meeting on the 18th. The meeting on the 18th is an executive session, and when we're in executive session today, we can talk about that a little bit and the planning of that. Section 19, it should be noted, Board of Education members received their agenda several days prior, and they've had opportunity to study and ask questions and so on. Upcoming meetings, all here in the Monterey Media Center, PDR room. June 11th at 6, June 18th, the special meeting at 6, June 25th at 7, and July 16th at 7. And we have the public notice attached here to our agenda as well for the special meeting. At this point, I make a motion to adjourn into executive session pursuant to ORC 121-22G1 to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, compensation of a public employee or official. May I have a second for that item, please?
Second.
Is that Maria? Okay. Ms. Zetter seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none, treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Souchaki?
Aye.
Mrs. Etter?
Aye.
Mr. Dobbins?
Aye.
Ms. Prouse? Mrs. Decker?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. It is 8:27. We are adjourning into executive session. No action will be taken at the conclusion of the executive session.